Let's talk about how to register a business name. And it's really important to understand that if you're trying to really be successful in business, you need to follow the laws and regulations of the state where you are incorporated or organized. So let's talk about how to register a business name. So here's the overview I want you to pay attention to. So registering your business is an important step to complete before launching your business. And business registration typically is required by state agencies such as the Secretary of State, but there are some circumstances where you have to, you might need business registration if you want to, let's say, obtain licenses, permits, or registrations with local or federal agencies. It's all about your specific business and the sector you're in. The question is, are you required to register your business at all? Well, the thing here is that whether you are required to register your business will depend upon your industry and location. So we're speaking about geography here, geography. In most cases, businesses including limited liability companies, LLCs, partnerships, and corporations are required to register with applicable state agency, often the Secretary of State. Meanwhile, sole proprietorships typically don't need to obtain business registration. Now, there are some exceptions here, though. It depends on the sector you're in. For example, if you are, let's say, if you are a CPA, you are even if you are a sole proprietorship, which you shouldn't be in the first place, but if you are a sole proprietorship, you might need to have business licenses from the state authorities. So it's all about the sector you're in. But one thing we want to say in general here is that if you are trying to have several layers of credibility and several layers of I would say insulation from lawsuits or any kinds of lawsuits or any kinds of risk levels within the business, it's just a lot better to obtain a business license, which means what? You have to register your business name, and you have to make sure that the state authorities know that there is a business, and also you want to proceed with having a business license if it is so required. So the bottom line here is that you need to go to your state Secretary of State's website and inquire if, depending on the specific sector you're in, the specific niche you're in, you are required to register your name, and if there are some additional steps that you need to follow to actually make sure that you are compliant with the law. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We're gonna have a very enriched conversation today. Make yourself comfortable, and let's start. One thing I want to say here is that you need to understand, when we talk about registering a business, there are several levels of cost. How much does it really cost to register a business depends again upon the geography you're in. State filing fees for a business registration vary, but generally it will cost a few $100s to register your business. We're speaking about based on our experience for the last 35 years. We've seen business registration costing somewhere from $250 all the way to $700. If you do business in more than one state, you will also need to pay filing fees to obtain foreign qualification in additional states. And so it's all about the geography. But so if you are in multiple geographies, you want to multiply the cost. Okay. And so how is a legal business name different from a DBA? DBA, doing business as. Well, the legal business name is how the business is recognized by the government for official purposes, including by the IRS for tax purposes, and by the state in which the business is registered. The DBA or trade name, on the other hand, is how the business is recognized by customers, clients, vendors, suppliers, and the general public. So when you hear the term DBA, this is for this is how the public views the business. But the legal business is how the authorities are viewing the business. So how do you trademark your business's name? Well, we actually had just completed another video about how to actually trademark a business name, but very simply, you can complete the trademark process for your business's name in 4 steps, which are really quintessential if you need a trademark: searching for existing trademark, preparing an application to file with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and filing the application with the USPTO. So this is kind of important. And so when we talk about the business, registering a business name in general, and even if you want to trademark, let's say, a logo, on average, the length of time it takes to trademark a logo really depends on the complexity of the case. It can take anywhere from several months to over a year for a trademark application to be processed and approved. And if there are complications such as re-examination or amendment to the initial application, the process may take significantly significantly longer. And we might actually advise you to hire an attorney to kind of help you in the process, not only in terms of registering the business, but all the ancillary sort of processes that revolve around the business registration, business name registration process. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to register a business name. Let me give you the approach here. So let's talk about registering your business with local and county agencies. While you likely don't need to register your business with local or county agencies, depending on the nature of your business, you may need to obtain permits or licenses to conduct business, right? You may also need to register your trade name or doing business as the DBA if your business uses a name that's different from the legal business name. It's all about clarifying things for all kinds of stakeholders. So let's talk about registering your business with state agencies. Most states require that businesses, including LLCs, corporations, and partnerships, register with applicable state agencies if they conduct business activities in the state. So conducting the business activities can include having a physical presence in the state, meeting in person with clients in the state, receiving a significant portion of companies' revenues within the state, employers work in the state. So you will need to check the state's requirements, but in most cases, based on our experience, you can register your business with the Secretary of State's office. So everything happens predominantly with the Secretary of State's office. And to register your business in a state, you will need to name a registered agent who has the authority to receive official papers and legal documents on behalf of your business. The registered agent needs to be located in the states where the business is registered. And by the way, when we talk about the registered agent, you can be your own registered agent, not a problem, okay? And as long as you are located in the states and you are open during normal business hours, you are good to go. There's a strong requirement here is that if you have to be a registered agent for your company, you have to actually you have to be available during normal business hours to receive legal documents and official documents. But we do not advise you or any entrepreneur to be his or her own registered agent. It's just a lot better to outsource the whole task to a third party, because there are several layers. You do not want to mingle your personal affairs. You do not want to mingle your personal affairs and business affairs. You do not want to expose the business, affairs vis-a-vis customers, for instance. It's just better to keep several layers of protection or discretion so that you can really run your business in peace. Let me talk to you about registering your business with federal agencies. It's really important to understand that usually when we talk about forming a business, forming an LLC, forming an S corporation, forming a C corporation, things happen predominantly at the state level. You do not have to file for an LLC at the federal level, or file for an S corporation or C corporation or LP, whatever. Everything happens at the state level. But there are some instances where you might have to deal with federal authorities, especially when it comes to registering your business with federal agencies. It really depends upon a couple of things. It depends upon the kind of industry you're in, because some industries are considered federally sensitive. It depends on the kind of products your business deals with, because again, some products or services are considered federally sensitive. And so it depends also on the kind of clients you have. For example, if you have a client if you do business with the U.S. military, basically the level of scrutiny, the level of compliance, the level of regulatory registration required might be different from if you were just doing business with local farmers, okay? So in most cases, you don't need to register your business with federal agencies except to obtain your employer identification number for tax purposes. Certain industries do require registration, and you may want to register for federal trademark protection. If you wish to be taxed as an S corporation, S corp, you will need to file a Form 2553 with the IRS. And even if you are not required to register with federal agencies, your business is still required to comply with federal laws and regulations, such as workplace safety requirements of the Occupational Health and Safety Organization, organization, administration, OSHA. So it's really important to really keep that in mind to understand that it depends upon the industry you're in. It also depends upon the type of relationships you want to establish with the tax authorities. But yeah, you don't have a lot of constraints at the federal level. But it's important to remember, if you want to be taxed as an S corporation, you will need to file Form 2553. We're showing this to you right now on the screen. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to register a business name. Let's talk about when you do business in more than one state. There are some elements to pay attention to, right? So we're talking about foreign qualification. So when you do business in more than one state, you have to pay attention to foreign qualification. And the thing here is that, if you do business in more than one state, you will need to obtain foreign qualification in other states in which you do business. To obtain foreign qualification, most states require that a business file a certificate of authority with that state and a certificate of good standing from the state of formation. So those are two elements you need to pay attention to, okay? First of all, you need to file a certificate of authority with the state where you are trying to get registration. And then you need to get a certificate of good standing from your state of formation, so your original state, your domestic state. So how do you register a business name here? Well, the business name is the legal name that will identify your business, and you will need a business name to submit a form SS4 to receive an EIN. To register a business name, you will first need to form the business by creating the applicable formation documents. So LLC, we're speaking about operating agreements, partnership agreements, or shareholders agreements, and filing registration documents with the applicable state agencies. And to register the business name, the name will need to be available in the state of formation. Again, we're going back to the state of formation. We're speaking about the domestic state. So you can check with the state agency to see if that name is available. And most states have a business name lookup search tool available through the Secretary of State's Business Division. That's the first thing you want to start. So if you're trying to form a business, you're trying to form an LLC, an SC corporation, and whatever, you want to make sure that the name that you intend to use, that name is available. Otherwise, you're just exposing yourself to future lawsuits of copyright infringement, all kinds of lawsuits. So this is why we actually advise our business clients to actually outsource the whole task to a third party that will actually file the paperwork for you, because those third parties, those LLC formation services, those S corporation, those C corporation, those corporation formation services in general, they have in-house sort of processes and procedures that help them identify if there was a problem from the get-go. Okay, for example, if a name is already taken, so that you don't have a duplicate name filing. Let's talk about how to change a business name. And because sometimes, there could be some problems and you really want to fix things. So to fix clerical errors and typos in your business name, you can often file a certificate of correction. Meanwhile, if you want to make a substantive change to the legal name, to the legal business name, you will need to complete the following steps. Adopt a resolution approving the name change. If you receive approval of shareholders, partners, or LLC members is actually required, the resolution will need to be signed by a requisite number of shareholders, partners, or members. You want to amend business formation documents. So depending on the type of business entity, this will include updating your LLC operating agreements, shareholders agreement, or a partnership agreement, as well as the articles of organization or articles of incorporation. And you also want to file articles of amendment with the Secretary of State or applicable state agency, along with a required filing fee. And so then you need to notify state regulatory agencies, taxing authorities, and licensing agencies of the name change. This step is so critical, because if you do not notify the appropriate authorities, you actually are exposing yourself to penalties and other types of negative developments. So really important to notify authorities. And then what you want to do here is you want to update the name on business accounts and notify clients, vendors, and suppliers. And when we talk about business accounts, we're speaking specifically about business checking accounts, for instance, okay, or business savings account. So before you register the new business name, you need to confirm that the name is available in your state. I think I've said this before, but I want to insist on that. You should also consider doing a Google search to see if there are other if there are any similar business, any similar known business names, and searching also the United States Patent and Trademark Office (PTO) USPTO database to confirm that the name is not trademark protected. This is important. Again, it's all about just making sure that you are protecting, you're covering yourself from the get-go, because you do not want to, you want to shield yourself from future but future litigation. And this can happen. Let's talk about registering a trade name. And so changing the legal name of your business can be time consuming and expensive. So you may prefer using a trade name or a DBA for your business. So DBA, doing business as. So if you choose a DBA or a trade name, you may be required to file a separate registration for the DBA. You can check with your jurisdiction's Secretary of State to determine specific requirements and filing fees. Because again, everything happens at the state level. And so some states have a pretty streamlined processes when it comes to registering for doing business as. And so in some states, things can be really complicated. It's really up to you to determine what really works for you. So the bottom line here is what? Registering your business name is an important step when setting up a new business or rebranding an existing business. And generally, this happens as part of the business registration process through your state's Secretary of State, and things may vary depending on your business registration type, such as DBA, LLC, or S corporation. But I need to insist on the fact that S corporation is actually a tax construct. There is no such a thing as S corporation in terms of legal structure for businesses. It is a tax. It is a fiscal construct. You actually elect to be taxed as an S corporation, and only the IRS and state tax authorities will actually pay attention to that. And but when we talk about business, regular business types, we're speaking about partnership, we're speaking about LLC, we're speaking about corporation, or you can choose to be a sole proprietorship. Okay, but to an S corporation, your partnership can elect to be taxed as an S corporation. Your LLC can elect to be taxed as an S corporation. Your C corporation can elect to be taxed as an S corporation. So I just want to insist on that. So there's no such a thing as, you know what, I want to register a business name for my S corporation. No, you can register a business name for your C corporation. Yes. You can register a business name for your LLC. Yes. You can register a business name for your partnership, yes, but you cannot register a business name for your S corporation. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just spoke to you about how to register a business name. So I gave you the overview, and then I gave you the approach when it comes to registering your business name at the federal, state, or county level. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.